EMDR is based on getting your mind and your body to work together and activating both sides of the mind. So I'm not certified in EMDR, so I'm not as good as explaining it, but they use eye movement to help activate both sides. And they can either they have light bars, or they do a lot of finding safe place, finding calm place, meditation, guided meditation, to really calm and bring the veteran into the safe place and out of activating both sides of the brains to bring down the calm. I can't think of how to say that. That's okay.
That's okay.
And then emotional focus therapy is a really good one for individuals, but as well as couples and families. So what it does is really focus on the emotions versus the cognitive side of it, where they base it off of your primary fears and what is the 5 primary fears, or primary emotions, and working from that. So with your primary emotions, it's fear, sadness, joy, shame, and guilt. So really dissecting that, understanding where they're coming from, and then understanding your secondary emotions that go along with that and how those are good and bad and vice versa. So that's kind of the brief overview of it. Cognitive behavioral therapy or cognitive processing therapy, those are very research-based. There's a lot of evidence-based research on them right now, as well as ACT and EMDR and EFT. But the VA also offers a lot of CBT and CPT, and it's really understanding the behaviors and how your brain works and understanding how the traumas affect you and working through those and try to desensitize and try to really build beyond that. We use a lot of different interventions, so it just kind of depends on where the veteran is and where they're going.
Okay, so back to the EMDR.
Mm-hmm.
Is this, my first thought when I hear EMDR and it's explained to me, is Men in Black.
Kind of, yeah. So it's not.
Is it like that?
Well, it's not supposed to erase the memories. It's supposed to help you. That's kind of awesome. It's supposed to help you break them down and put them into a safe place. So when we're left or right brain, depending on the trauma, it'll hang out there and it'll be more intensified. So the EMDR really brings it down, desensitizes it, and puts it in a safer place for you, which is really cool. I've seen some really awesome things since we hired her. It's been amazing.
So I think that's a good thing. I think it's a good thing. Now, is this something that, do you have to put it on your head? Do you feel any kind of...
Nope. It's, I'm trying to think. So it's either they do it with their hand movements, like eye sensitivity or the light bar, or you can even do it yourself. So when a person dissociates, we have a hard time grounding ourselves. So it's kind of a technique of grounding. So you can do it with, if you're tapping on your knees or you're tapping, it kind of just brings you back to earth, kind of Men in Black at the same time. So it's crossing the brain to get you back to normal.
Okay. And so on the CBT, you said CBT, CPT?
So there's cognitive behavioral therapy, and then there's cognitive processing therapy. CPT, I think that's what it is. CPT, I think it's processing therapy. And that one, cognitive processing therapy is really interesting because it breaks down your traumas and it really makes you look at each piece of them and write them down and really get some repetition with it so that it becomes less scary. It's really cool.
Well, these sound like they're, the ones that you've described to me, they sound that they're what I would call non-invasive.
Yes. And we're not, especially here at the vet center, we're not going to push the stuff on a veteran until they're ready. And then it's not about where we want to go, it's where the veteran wants to go. So really meeting them where they are. That's, I think, is the biggest piece of therapy and what we do here at the Boise Vet Center. So.
Okay. And then out of these 5 different modalities.
Mm-hmm.
Which one do you believe gets the highest success rate?
I don't know that any. I don't know if there's any one that has the highest. I think they're all very good in their ways, and I think that the highest success rate that I have found is be in a place where veterans feel safe to come and talk about their stuff. And so that's their processing, that's their purpose, that's their community, and that's building that therapeutic relationship, I think is really where I see the success rates. These modalities are great all in themselves, so they're all good.
Okay, well, it's good to know that there are what I would call non-invasive, safe modalities.
Yep.
Because I think one of the big fears that people have around mental health issues is that they're not going to be able to handle them, number one. Number
Right.
2, that they are going to be put on a bazillion different drugs.
Right.
Which, in my own experience, the drug isn't what makes you healthy. The drug might alleviate the symptom, but it's the inner work. And you have to be willing to do that inner work.
Absolutely.
Which inner work is not any fun.
No, and that's why sometimes it takes veterans coming here for years before they're ready to do that. And with the medication, we never, what's the word? We will encourage it when we feel that it's necessary, but we can't prescribe. So we really try to work with the psychiatrist if they have a psychiatrist. Because, yeah, you're absolutely right. It's to help bring down kind of the barriers and the symptoms that are holding them from the inner work. And then once the medication helps with that, we can start actually doing the work because they're not in that crisis or overwhelmed feelings anymore. So we have to work really closely with their psychiatrist and help kind of alleviate any gaps.
Okay.